All right, here's another rant for you. Simple question. Why are swords and sword fighting seen as nerdy? Yeah, I know. There are, of course, reasons. There's, just like with any unusual hobby, non-mainstream, let's put it that way, any non-mainstream hobby is seen as potentially weird or nerdy or whatever to those who aren't into it. That much is obvious, but let me just turn on the overthinking mode. It is a little bit interesting, especially seeing some of those comments I've gotten on the video of Lee Smith and Richard Marsden having a sparring match. There were some rather strange comments, basically saying, gay. I'm like, what? Now I know, the damn kids still call everything gay just as a negative term, which is weird. I thought we'd gone past that, but whatever. But there were some insinuations that there's something effeminate about it, or I don't know. And I was just sitting there scratching my head like, excuse me, what? I mean, sure, the random internet troll, who cares? But it's definitely, the nerdiness aspect is definitely a thing. Now, usually, a nerd is somebody who is not exactly martially inclined. You know what I mean? Wait, I should go here. The kid who was bullied in school because it was, weaker and everything. In martial arts, that doesn't exactly apply. I'm just gonna pick the extra hard route here. There's a path, but I'm just gonna crawl over the rocks to make the video extra shaky and annoy the internet trolls. Or whatever. Can I even? Anyway, so sword fighting used to be seen as the manliest thing one could possibly do. Just like soldiers nowadays, not by everyone, but are still seen by a lot of people as badass, manly badasses. So I guess it has to do with how obsolete the weapons are. And so then the question becomes, where do you draw the line? If it's obsolescence, then how long does it take? I mean, it's the same debate as with how long does it take for something to become antique. Some people say 100 years. An artifact that's 99 years old is not an antique, and then next year it becomes one, which is a little weird, but that's the problem you have with these, with drawing arbitrary lines. What on earth am I doing? This is gonna be so unbearably shaky. Why am I even doing this? So if you think about the American Civil War reenactment, I think that could be seen as nerdy, at least by some people. Now, is all reenactment nerdy by default? Or does it depend on the time frame? Like, is Roman reenactment nerdier than Revolutionary War reenactment, Napoleonic reenactment? I don't know. I don't think that they're terribly nerdy necessarily, but they can be. How's that for a non-answer? And then there's the dimension that nerdy people gravitate toward sword-related hobbies. And I've seen that idea a number of times, where people seem to think that anyone who does sword fighting or collects swords or whatever is a virgin and awkward and everything. Now, that's pretty weird considering that, like, the vast majority of people that I've practiced with in HEMA are married, myself included. Either are married or have a partner or, were in a stable relationship not long ago, stuff like that. Definitely not virgins. So that's a little bit weird. Maybe there's some projection. Maybe there's some cranky, lonely people sitting in their basement somewhere and just being like, oh, these nerds are getting together. They're having fun. No, we can't have that. We need to deride them. We need to try to make them feel less because they're having too much fun. Maybe that's part of it, I don't know. But I can definitely tell you about the great variety. Okay, I'll stick to the hard path, why not? I need to exercise, I'm fat. Again. Anyway, that's the other part, actually. Certain stereotypes, I'm a good example of how there's not only variation between individuals, there's also variation between time periods in an individual's life. You know, like if you look at me in 2017, you know, all slim and everything, probably didn't look as nerdy as I do now. And considering that I've been through this whole process a number of times, like you can go all the way back and see me even fatter than I am now, then I got slim, then I got fat again, then I got slim, and blah, 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 whatever. I have issues, in short. So depending on which time period you look at, you might jump to very different conclusions about this particular sword enthusiast, nerd, geek, whatever, I don't give a fluff. And then you have the great variety of people, different fitness levels, different ages, different genders, you know, everything. For example, at Blonde Iron Victoria, which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore, COVID killed it off, there were a lot of female students. And yeah, you've got the whole range. You've got all kinds of backgrounds. I would say ethnically, I guess, there definitely seems to be a greater number of white people doing this on average. I mean, in Western countries where we are the majority anyway, so statistically, of course, there are going to be more majority members. But either way, I think it might even so be weighted a little bit. So maybe it's a white nerdy thing, I don't know.
I know they're all thinking I'm so white and nerdy, just too white and nerdy.
Difference between nerd and geek. I honestly don't know. I don't know the exact definition. You could very well call someone either a sword nerd or a sword geek. Maybe geek even fits better. I don't know. Do I identify as a nerd or geek? Again, I don't even really know the difference. And in short, not really, but I also don't mind if that label is applied. I don't really give a shit. You can think whatever you like, and it's all good. I'm just wondering what you folks think. If you're into swords, chances are, if you're here and you listen to this babbling, you probably are. Do you self-identify as a nerd or a geek or a what have you? What do you think the difference is? What kinds of people have you met? You know, what kinds of diversity have you encountered or not? Stuff like that. Let's just have a nice, respectful discussion about it. And yeah, let me just show you some more of the ocean because it's freaking awesome. Thanks for watching, and have a good one, folks.